Like most RVers, when we're looking for great places to explore, we're much more likely to head for remote natural settings rather than to a city, where finding a good, reasonably priced place to camp can sometimes be a bit of a challenge. But today, we're headed for New Orleans, including the French Quarter, which is, of course, not somewhere we would bring the RV. Even though New Orleans is a modest-sized city, it's too big to be very RV-friendly. The trick in any city is to find a place to camp that's close enough to make access to town as easy as possible. Our favorite place to stay when visiting New Orleans is just a 12-mile drive from the French Quarter, Bayou Segnette State Park. It's a typical campground setting in a beautiful natural environment with large sites, 50-amp electric, a dump station, and modern restrooms. Let's zoom in and take a virtual look around the park, courtesy of Google Earth and Google Streets. Camping here, you'd never know you're RVing in a large metropolitan area, just a short drive from downtown. The roads and sites are paved, clean, and well maintained. There's lots of open space and sunshine, and plenty of trees and grass too. It really is a nice campground for just about any size RV. Let's head into downtown, to the French Quarter, which is an easy 20 or 30-minute drive from the campground, as long as traffic isn't too heavy. But traffic, and especially parking, can be a real challenge. So you might want to leave your car on the other side of the Mississippi and take the Algiers ferry. It will drop you off right in the French Quarter, and it's free for pedestrians. Let's dive in and take a quick virtual look at the French Quarter. Here's a stroll down Bourbon Street, probably the most famous street in New Orleans. By night, this entire area comes alive with music, drinking, and all sorts of partying. Of course, we didn't take virtual tours while we were in New Orleans. We took real ones. We discovered free tours by foot, which, exactly as the name indicates, are walking tours that are free of charge. Terrific, knowledgeable tour guides who work only for tips provide colorful narration during leisurely strolls through interesting and historic neighborhoods. Our first tour of the day began at Lafayette Cemetery No. 1 in the Garden District. Because New Orleans' elevation is so low and its water table so high, people are interred in mausoleums instead of being buried underground.
Great, you tell it on your tour. What do the screams say?
Our tour guide had plenty of stories about this historic cemetery. The Garden District is also chock full of historic homes.
The camera, I caught it, and then Cooper the eldest, Peyton, and Eli.
After our first tour, we stopped for a classic New Orleans lunch of gumbo and a shrimp po' boy. It was delicious. After touring the Garden District, we're now heading over to tour the French Quarter. We met our guide from Free Tours by Foot here in Jackson Square.
That's all lit up that says peace, y'all, so you may have seen that. Now across the street, it is funny. I had my wedding dinner there, so you know the food's good, right? It's very pretty.
Earlier when we were walking and didn't know what those hooks were, so now I can tell people.
Yeah, Romeo style.
The sights and sounds of the French Quarter are unique. You never know what you'll see next.
Streetcars, we have the red line, the green line, and the blue in front.
And of course, there's all sorts of music. If you look closely, you'll see lots of hidden beauty as well. And don't forget the beads. After all that walking, it's time for some fried okra, shrimp etouffee, jambalaya, greens, and cornbread. All New Orleans classics. If you've never RV'd in New Orleans before, come on down and be sure to bring your appetite.